Okay guys, this is just a quick one for people having issues with my bubbling wand recipe. This is the little sample piece that I made when I made my Christmas tree wands. I've already used it a couple times to test it out. What I'm hearing is people are not getting enough bubbles. I want to tell you a little tip. A lot of times you hold it in and you swish, 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 take it out. That's not enough. The bubbling is coming from the surface area. So let me just show you something. Hopefully I can do this in a minute amount of time. The best thing to do, I find, get it in the water, obviously. You're swishing, you're wishing, you're doing whatever. The longer, oops, I just broke a piece off. I didn't let this dry out. Ouch, that's hot too. The longer this little puppy or your wand is in the water, okay, the more chances are that you're going to get bubbles. So I like to tell people to swish it around quite a bit, get some of the color coming off. By the way, the darker you've colored it and the longer you keep it in the water, the more your water will actually tint a color. But this is what I like to do with my wands, okay? So we're swishing. It's sitting in the water, and I know a lot of people just do this and that's it. Well, you do have to keep it in for some amount of time, okay? It doesn't work exactly like the wish wand. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you can get a ton of bubbles. Right now, you see there's not much happening. I'm just rubbing it, swishing it around, leaving it in. Now we're going to run some water. Hotter water works better. And you should get bubbles. You can also hold it underneath. Ouch, that's really hot. You can hold it underneath and rub it, but I like to keep it in the water, swish it, keep going. But like I said, the longer it's in the water, and I know sinks are not accurate, but the longer that this guy's in the water, or your big wand is in the water, the more you will get bubbles. And the more I like to rub it, swish it, whatever it is that you want to do. It's not going to be like my other bubble bars where it's boom, instant bubbles, okay? It's a wand. It's meant to be like swished around and, you know, held in the water for a little bit to actually get the bubbles to come, okay? It's not going to be, they do act differently than a normal crumble bubble bar. You guys have to remember that. It's the surface area of the wand that is actually giving you the bubbling agent. So if you can rub or swish or whatever and just keep it in the water as long as you can, you know, like you're rubbing. If you left it in here too long, it's going to eventually, you'll be able to break it and crumble it up. But it's meant to be, you know, like, reusable. But like I said, if you left it in the water too long, it's going to get sogged, waterlogged, and you'll be able to crumble it, which is not what I intended, but that's why you take it, use it, and then take it out. I know some Lush wands, they actually end up using the whole thing for a bubble bath. It's totally dependent on you guys. But there, I'm taking it out. I'm going to run the water. It helps if you have great water pressure, which I don't. Hotter water works better. But there you go. I just want to show you. They do work. And this thing has been sitting out for a long time from when I made them originally. It hasn't been packaged or anything. It's just sitting out. So that's what you do. And you see how it's starting to turn green? The longer I would leave that in, the greener it would get, the more bubbles you would get. Okay? That's all I can tell you. If you still need help, message me and I will help you troubleshoot. Okay? If you have a tiny bit of an ingredient that's stale, or if your other thing isn't done properly, it all has an effect on the bubbles, okay? But just remember, it's not like a bubble bar that you crumble, if that makes sense. I hope this helps a little bit.